guys, welcome back to Harry Makes It Up. Today we are on day 3 of my, or look 3 if you like, of my capsule makeup challenge, which I'm still loving and loving all your feedback with the looks. Today I feel like going for something that's like a general, I want to say neutral, but could be like evening, could be daytime, could be special occasion, something that just feels very complementary to my features, something makes my eyes look pretty. Not 100% decided what I'm doing, but we're just gonna play. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put some eye primer on. So I've said before that I feel like this one, the NARS Pro Prime, is a bit like almost like putting underwear on. It's like the underwear of your capsule makeup. And for me, it was like a priority within my 10 items. I've got a little bit of brow on already and some mascara on. Just to speed things up so you don't have to watch me do the same steps that we kind of know are probably going to be in every single time. So a little bit of eye primer, and I'm just going to blend that in with my finger, and obviously I can kind of tidy up any brow work or anything later on should I need to. So I feel like working with my Flesh palette today. The pink is coming, guys, the pink is coming. But today I think I'm going to start first with this colour, so the kind of medium tone, and I'm going to put a wash of that through my crease. So I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm just going to use that just to wash that through my crease, just to give it a little bit of definition through my socket and to really kind of like deepen my socket as well. Then I'm also going to take that same eyeshadow under my lash line, so just using like a domed brush, I'm just going to take a little bit of that underneath my lash line. And I'm kind of concentrating that on the outer parts of my eye, not kind of all the way round, and just kind of flicking upwards towards where the top part is. Then I'm going to go in with this gold shade, so this one here, this is like a metallic gold. I'm going to use that and I'm going to apply that with a flat brush, so just like a flat shadow brush, and I'm going to put that onto the lid. I feel like we're going for J-Lo vibes here, guys. So I'm just taking that all over my lid, and I'm just taking that up to the socket line. And don't forget as well, guys, you can use eyeshadows wet, you can use them dry, you can really kind of like play with the textures. So I'm just going to do a buff, just to kind of buff those together and under. Not done any concealer yet. Then I'm going to take my Barbarella Brown, this is my Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal, and I'm going to go in the upper waterline because I want my eye to look like my lash line is really dark, which will also in turn make me look like I've got more lashes and a thicker lash line. And then I'm going to use a bit of that brown, Barbarella Brown, just to go on the outer corner, on like the outer part of the eye line. Just do a few dots. Just to give a bit of shape. And then I want to go back to a smaller buffing brush, like a little rounded, domed one, and I'm just going to blend that a little bit. So I'm just going to soften it slightly. Then I'm going to take my brown coal and I'm going to use this along the top lash line. Now, if you ever want to use a pencil as like a liner, you can always sharpen it so that it goes really, really sharp and you get a nice point. I'm kind of still playing with colours here, so I'm running this quite definitely all the way along. And this is going to be like my baseline, if you like, where it's kind of the darkest point. And I'm going to start to flick it out a little bit. And with a pencil, you can always use a Q-tip. So, for example, if you have a Q-tip, you can always use this as a way just to like cheat your pencil line. So you almost want to do a little bit of a blob, if you like, and then just use your Q-tip. See how it just wings it out slightly, so you start to give the impression of a liner, even if there isn't one. And you can even just pull the pigment on top, just with a little pointy Q-tip. Just pull it in that direction. And then I'm going to take the smudger brush, so the smaller one, and I'm going to go in with the darker brown, so this like espresso colour, and I'm going to run that along the top lash line, so it just softens a little bit the line that we've already made. And it just makes it a little bit smokier, but it's more about like the lash line. I'm just buffing, so I'm just taking really small amounts of pigment at a time. So it just gives you like a really nice smoky lash line. So I am just following that in the direction of where I kind of flicked the eye out a little bit. And just keep softening. And if you feel like there's too much pigment on, just take a bit off on the back of your hand. And just keep using your finger to kind of like scoop the product upwards. So I've just curled my lashes and I'm going to do one more coat of mascara. Just so my lashes look really, really black. So you can see you just get that really nice, intense lash look when you curl your lashes. If you've already got like one thin coat of mascara on, you can really start to get in there and like beef those lashes up. And I'm going to take a little bit of that on the bottom lashes too, just so we get that nice definition. The only thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take my smaller brush and I'm actually going to dip back into the darkest brown shade. I'm just going to kind of intensify that crease just on the outer part, as if to make it like almost join up. Just that little bit more drama, I think, just on the outer part. It gives it a slightly more 60s look, which I'm really into. And you just keep pulling out as if you're still kind of like winging the eye out a little bit. And then just go back to a fluffy brush again, and you can just kind of soften that slightly. I mean, I still want the definance. I'm making up words again. And just make sure it's like a really nice, deep, intense crease. So I'm actually just intensifying a little bit on my brows. And for some people, some of these colors here could even be used as brows. So if you've got a couple of neutral eyeshadows, you might not even need a brow pencil. Okay, brows on, let's do skin. I think I'm gonna keep it less sheen, I think, today. I'm gonna keep it more of like not a matte skin because I have a bit of moisturizer on, but I am going in now with just a bit of extra concealer, just kind of where I need it, because obviously the eye look is quite intense. And for me, sometimes I do like to use like a little foundation brush just to kind of spread the product where I want it. And for me, that's always like just brightening under the eyes. And again, this is where you can now really, really scoop. So if you want that nice kind of chiseled wing that still looks soft, it's still gonna have that softness, but just where your concealer is. And I just kind of like tap that in place. Do a little bit on my chin. And just taking it under my under eye area slightly as well. A little bit of redness there I can cover, and just kind of like tapping it in my fingers. So I think for cheeks, I am just going to use my cloud paint because this is obviously quite a full-on eye. I don't want to distract too much from it. But if I wanted to, what I could do, I could always mix. In fact, let's do that. I'm going to mix a bit of my liquid lipstick in so you guys can see how I add the tiniest bit of colour. So on my hand, I've got a dot of my cloud paint. I'm now going to take my pink liquid lipstick. If you had a really intense liquid lipstick that was very dry in formula, you could add a dot of moisturizer as well. So let's just make a little custom cheek colour. Okay. And obviously, because it's going to have like that nice like lip stain in. See how pretty is that? So fun, guys, to mix things and just have fun with makeup. See how pretty it is. It's like the tiniest bit of pink. And you can just use something like your concealer to dilute it, or you can use the cloud paint to dilute it. So it just gives a really nice bit of colour back to my skin, which I am really, really into actually. Just keep patting. If you feel like it gets too strong, you can always go back to your brush with the concealer on, just kind of tap the edges. Just make sure it stays not too full on, but again, there's so much on the back of my hand, I can just keep going back in and reapplying where I want to build up the intensity on the apples of my cheeks. Just like that, and then kind of go back in with my foundation brush. And I can just make sure that blends in really seamlessly. So I'm just gonna pat that in. I'm going to not use highlighter, I think, today, because for my lips, I'm actually going to use a bit of cloud paint. I feel like I want a little bit of cloud paint on my lips. I just made so much come out then, and I have cloud paint all over me. So a bit of cloud paint, and I'm just going to start tapping that into my lips for a really nice nude lipstick. So pretty. Okay, and I'm going to start with less and build up, because even then that feels like I put too much on. And guys, I think maybe even I'm tempted to use a bit of my balm just in the center of my lips. So maybe let's do my balm. So this was my nudie balm. I'm going to do just here, just literally that top bit there, and I'm just going to pat that on my bottom lip. Very, very subtle. And that is the finished look. That is look 3 with my 10 products, my Capsule makeup challenge. I'm loving doing this, guys. I hope you all loving doing it too. Yeah, let me know what you think of the look. Will you be wearing this? How are you guys getting on with your challenge? Are you finding it easier than you thought you would? Is it more difficult than you thought it would be? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos, as I am doing a little bit more frequent videos at the minute. I hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you soon for more. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.